New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Live from a secure concrete bunker somewhere in Ohio, New Thought Media Network presents Pastor Michael Mangus with Friday's Fireside Chat, spiritual conversation for today. Here he is from the secret radio room, surrounded by thousands of watts, Pastor Michael Mangus.
Well, welcome again, everyone, all across the United States and also around the world. Once again, it is time for another fun-filled, throw-packed, and yes, guaranteed exciting edition of the Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. Pastor Michael Mangus broadcasting this evening from the secret radio room surrounded by thousands, and I mean thousands of watts in the extremely secure concrete bunker around Akron, Ohio, that is so top secret that only one person, and that is my producer, Diego Reyes, only he knows where the super secret concrete bunker is located. Everyone else, including our chief inspirational officer, the Reverend Robert Brzezinski, he has no clue where the super secret concrete bunker is located, and we are going to keep it that way. He tried to get it out of me last week in Chicago, but Diego kept telling him wrong addresses. We'll tell you about our week in Chicago here in just a few moments. We have a wonderful show for you this evening. Again, please feel free to interact with us by posting your comments on Facebook and also in StreamYard. And for all my shy people out there who don't comment, just go to my email address, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. I do read those during the week. And again, let us know that you're watching. So the purpose of our fireside chat here is to cozy up to the fire and get real about contemporary issues from a New Thought perspective. And as I keep saying week after week, I want us all to have a new thought about what is going on in the world and our part in helping to heal that. Our special guest here in the second half of the program is one of our newer presenters here on the New Thought Media Network, voted best smile on the network. It is the Reverend Jim Webb from the Miracle of Prosperity show. He will be with us here. Reverend Jim will be speaking on some of the blocks to prosperity and how you, yes, you, can experience an abundant flow in all areas of your life. And guess who gets to produce a show weekly? I do. It's lots of fun. Reverend Jim Webb will be our guest here in just a few moments. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who had a hand in assisting in my graduation from Holmes Institute last week in Chicago. It was a real honor to have the Reverend Robert Brzezinski preside over my graduation. Diego Reyes ran camera, and they were both there to see me get my degree, along with about 75 other ministers. Special thanks goes out to the Reverend Dr. Tim Stewart from INTA for allowing us to put it on. And if you go to our YouTube channel and look for Ordination and Graduation in the title, you will find a recording of the ceremony. The first half is an ordination of 2 divine science ministers, and then the second half is yours truly. So what do you think, Diego? Should I go to media school now or get my doctorate in ministry? What do you think? He's not saying anything. Smart man here. Talking about Diego, we are going to Unity Village in August to assist with the Zoom video production for Celebrating Our Souls, which is an African-American celebration of New Thought. And your financial support really makes it possible for us to go and attend these conferences. So thank you to everyone. Hey, Diego, Reverend Robert won't be there to supervise us. Maybe we can go. I know that's scary, isn't it? Maybe we can go and karaoke one night. What do you think? And maybe we can find another soul food restaurant like we did in Chicago. Miss D's, he's saying no. That's a private joke here. Hey, Diego, guess where I was this week to perform a vow renewal? You would have liked this. If you said the Palace of Gold, run by the Hare Krishnas in West Virginia, you would be right. And a monk there stopped me to say that he and a friend were just talking about interfaith activities when yours truly walked by with a clergy collar. Coincidence, huh? That was a cool place. So in the news here, I told you that I would keep you informed about what is happening around the shooting of Jalen Walker here in my hometown of Akron, Ohio. From the Akron Beacon Journal, happy heavenly birthday. The community celebrates the life of Jalen Walker, while Demetrius Travis Sr. walked to cousin Jalen Walker's birthday party. Storms rolled overhead. Travis smiled and shook his head. That's just Jalen. He's letting us know that he's ready to celebrate, he said. Jalen's in good company today. Right now we're hurting, but Jalen's fine. While Akron continues to grieve the death of Walker, more than 100 people gathered at Firestone Park on Wednesday night to sing, eat pizza, enjoy cake, and wish Walker a happy heavenly birthday. Walker, a 25-year-old black man, was fatally shot by 8 Akron police officers in the early hours of June 27th. He would have turned 26 on Wednesday. And we are here to celebrate Jalen today, but we need to celebrate Jalen every day. In the latest news here from Akron, officers involved in Jalen Walker's shooting previously shot at a suspect in downtown Akron. Again, from the Akron Beacon Journal. One of the 8 Akron police officers who shot and killed Jalen Walker has previously fired a gun at a suspect after a shooting downtown, but missed, records provided on Thursday showed. The same officer was also the subject of 8 citizen complaints ranging from racial bias and lack of courtesy to wrongful arrest and excessive force. The city determined that each of the complaints were unfounded or unsubstantiated, records show. 3 other officers who shot Walker has a combination of 4 complaints against them, and none of them was substantiated either, the records show. So what happened was that the Akron Beacon Journal, our local newspaper here, went ahead and tried to get more information about the 8 officers. And they were turned down by the police department. So they're having to file some legal action towards that. The pressure on the city government and also the police department for reform continues. Now, from what I can see, the protests have been peaceful for the last several weeks. The All-American Soapbox Derby, which was held here in Akron, had to move some of its activities from downtown over security concerns. And City Council ended their session for the summer without voting on any police reform. Isn't that interesting? So personally, what I think is that everyone is waiting for the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, or Ohio BCI, to come back with their report. And yours truly continues his internal work to eliminate any kind of unpeacefulness, any kind of racism or hatred or anger from my heart. And I would really suggest that you do that too. Again, we are all one with this. We are all a part of this. So please continue your prayers for Akron. Thank you so very much. In the news, the Justice Department criminal investigation into the January 6th Capitol riots is also heating up. According to sources familiar with the matter, prosecutors are preparing for a court battle to force former White House officials to testify about former President Donald Trump's conversations and actions around the insurrection. This appears to be the clearest sign yet that federal investigators are homing in on Trump's conduct as he prevents to block the transfer of power to Joe Biden on January 6th. This court fight would put the Justice Department investigation into a more aggressive stance than even the Mueller investigation, which was a major year-long criminal probe into Trump while he was in the White House. He was not charged. And this comes as the House Select Committee investigating the Capitol riot confirmed it intends to share 20 transcripts with the Department of Justice as the department ramps up its investigation. And again, I really support you in having this on your prayer list for peace and justice and harmony in our country. Our prayers this evening are with the people of Eastern Kentucky. At least 16 people now are confirmed dead, and hundreds of homes have been damaged following catastrophic flooding in Eastern Kentucky. Look at that. Wow. Rescuers are working around the clock to reach difficult to access areas amid continuing storms, officials say. Again, it's up in the hills. So it's pretty difficult to get to some of the valleys and some of the hollows, as they call them. Floodwaters have washed out bridges, wiped out power lines, and sent some residents scrambling to their rooftops as water gushed into their homes. Some family homes and cars were submerged or swept away completely by the flooding, which has been exacerbated by the overflowing creeks. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear called it one of the most devastating flooding events in Kentucky's history, adding destruction is far more over as the rainfall is expected today. Officials say that the death toll is expected to rise. And also in the news this week, the principal of Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, has been allowed to return to work after a brief suspension, according to her attorney. Mandy Gutierrez has faced criticism about her handling of the school security before the mass shooting that left 19 children and 2 teachers dead. And she was placed upon administrative leave Monday during a school board meeting. Gutierrez's reinstatement comes after an exclusive interview with CNN this week, in which she defended her actions during the May 24th shooting. I feel I followed the training that I was provided with to the best of my abilities, she said when asked whether she felt that she should lose her job, and I will second guess myself for the rest of my life. And that principal, all the teachers in that school, and also the students, the parents, everyone in that town is affected here. So that's why we need to demand common sense gun control. And for those of us in the New Thought community to assist individuals traumatized by these events. Our last story this evening here. People say it's the economy, stupid. Well, that's just what some people say. The U.S. economy shrank again in the second quarter. The Bureau of Economic Analysis said on Thursday, fueling some recession fears, gross domestic product, or GDP, fell by 0.9% on an annualized basis from April through June. The decline marks a symbolic threshold for the most commonly used, though unofficial, definition of a recession, as 2 consecutive quarters of negative economic growth. Although on Thursday's estimate marked a sharp drop from the 6.7% expansion the economy underwent in the second quarter of 2021, the Biden administration has been adamant that the world's largest economy, despite being buffered by decades-high inflation, remains fundamentally sound. And we'll talk more with the Reverend Jim Webb on how to handle financial news like that here in just a few moments. 8:17, Diego. What do you think? Hold it. The applause is in the background. Well, hi there. Welcome. This is the Friday evening fireside chat here on your New Thought Media Network. Pastor Michael Mangus with you. Let's do some announcements and then we'll take a break here. Yours truly is currently parking himself at Summit CSL. For more information, go to summitcsl.org. There and only there will you find information about our wonderful Sunday gathering online at 10:30 Eastern Time. Bright and early in the morning, 7:30 Pacific Time. Grab your cup of coffee, your tea, your espresso, whatever that you wake up with, and join us. I really do believe that we have one of the best services that I've ever seen in New Thought because we have a balance of M's, the 3 M's: music, message, and meditation. So this Sunday, we'll have our 5th Sunday discussion about a spiritual topic. Also, it will be Ask Diana and John anything concerning spirituality. That should be an interesting conversation. Go on summitcsl.org for more information how to join the Zoom call. Our service is also simulcast on our Facebook page, the Summit Spiritual Center of Akron. And our Facebook page also has past broadcasts of the Fireside Chat and yours truly when he's doing prayer, including this evening. Yes, I'm doing double duty this evening. We have so many new programs here at the New Thought Media Network. If you go on to ntmedia.org, there you will see an updated schedule. Wonderful times of prayer. We have inspiration. We also have, again, teaching, including Jim Webb's program, all to bring forth the magnificence of you. And that's one of the reasons why that we lovingly ask you for your financial support. It's because that we are making a huge difference here in the world. We have people from around the world that tune into our broadcast. We are really making a huge difference. People at the INTA conference, some of them were getting up on the stage and saying, well, we should get this message out more. And they were staring right at us with our broadcast table doing exactly that. So we are affecting the world. We are there to help the world come to itself. So please help us. Go to ntmedia.org/donate there. You can go ahead and give a very generous one-time gift, or you can do like I do and give a monthly sustaining gift. That's the money that we use to go ahead and to put together budgets, pay salaries, and also provide feed for Winston the pig, Diego's pet. You don't want to see Diego pig starve, do you? No. We're kidding. But again, that your financial support really helps us here. So go to ntmedia.org/donate. All right. Time to go to a break, and then we'll be right back with Jim Webb. This is a Friday evening fireside chat here on your
The views and opinions expressed by Pastor Michael Mangus are generally right. However, they are his own and do not reflect the views and opinions of New Thought Media Network, Centers for Spiritual Living, or any other person living or dead. As they say in the 12-Step Recovery Program, take what you like and leave the rest. Here again is Pastor Michael.
And one of the bright spots on our programming schedule is my guest this evening, who hosts the brand new Miracle of Prosperity program that's broadcast every Sunday evening here on the New Thought Media Network, 6 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. An author, lecturer, and he is downplaying it. He received an honorary doctorate here a few weeks ago, so he doesn't want me to call him Reverend Doctor yet. The Reverend Jim Webb, good to have you on the program this evening, sir. Thank you.
It's good to be here, Michael, and thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, thank you. So, have people coming up to you and have they been talking about the economic news, and what have you been telling them?
I've been telling them that economics come and go, but faith stays. And as you work on your prosperity consciousness, there is a way to feel prosperous no matter what the economic indicators. And there is a way to attract prosperity to you no matter what the economic indicators. And that's very important because you could ride the wave of this and that and up and down and up and down, or you can develop and nurture from within a consciousness that's impervious to all of those ups and downs and ups and downs. And which do you think is going to be more stable, Michael?
I think what's going to be more stable is principle.
Yes.
That's what I think that's going to be most stable, because again, then the stock market goes up and down. That even a few weeks ago, I was in a meeting with an organization whose portfolio is down, and that the financial advisor who was on the call said, listen, everything goes in cycles here.
Yes.
We have you invested in the best places. So that's the reason why I say again that God is the source of our supply.
Exactly.
And that the whole idea of us getting into the actual flow of prosperity, which is again the spiritual substance. Some call it the law, some call it again the universal subjective mind. No matter what you call it, again, that what you put into it is exactly what's going to come out of it. So if you put into it, again, financial fear, if you put into it, again, constantly saying with emotion, well, I don't have the money. Well, guess what? The law is going to exactly give you that and say, well, that you don't have the money. So let's talk about, we've been focusing on the show on Sunday evenings about the different blocks to prosperity. And again, I've been privileged to be in your manifestation class on Monday and Thursday nights. So talk to us about some of the things that really do block individuals' prosperity.
At bottom, the thing that blocks our prosperity is our consciousness of deservingness. We either believe with every cell in our bodies and on every layer of our consciousness that we are deserving of our good, or we don't. And whatever we believe is what will manifest. So the biggest block is deservingness or undeservingness. And as we remove undeservingness, so the deservingness that is our natural state is revealed. Our prosperity in all ways is revealed to us. We are drawn to it, and it is drawn to us. And one of the things I like to emphasize, Michael, is prosperity in all ways. Because quite often people think of prosperity as money and stuff. And money and stuff is really just the byproduct of prosperity that begins within. Now, Michael, you are an avid practitioner of prayer, right?
I hope so.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah. Yes.
Yes. And many of our viewers are avid practitioners of prayer. So one of the functions of prayer is to release that which is untrue and reveal that which is true. And praying for prosperity is so important because what praying for prosperity does is it releases old beliefs. I do not deserve this. Old beliefs. This is in scarcity. Old beliefs. There is a wicked, hostile world that is counter to my desires. Releasing those old beliefs, releasing the energy patterns that those beliefs created, releasing the habitual thinking that those energy patterns created, releasing the physiological and vibrational patternings that those beliefs created. Because you know, when you have a belief, It's a reflex. When you have a reflex, it affects every cell in your body. When it affects every cell in your body, your cells react differently. Your brain releases peptides, neuropeptides, and
Yes.
enzymes that affect the cells, changing their vibration. And whatever you vibrate with is what you draw to you, or what is drawn to you. So when you change your beliefs, when you change your inner vibration, when you change that inner state due to prayer, the undeservingness falls away and the natural deservingness is revealed. The ideas that you had about yourself as an ego fall away. And the truth that you are as a being of light, as a holy beloved of the source, is revealed. Any belief that you had that you were separated from the source falls away. For
Yes.
one aspect of prayer is unifying with the source so
Absolutely.
that you know that you were never separated. And therefore you were never a prodigal child banished from the kingdom of heaven, and you cultivate the kingdom within. And when you vibrate with that energy, your prosperity is inevitable in every way, in relationships, in professional expression, in family experiences, in logistics, so your life is easy and effortless, and of course, in money, finance, and support, where you are supported in every way by the universe.
And we are talking with this evening here on the New Thought Media Network, the Friday evening Fireside Chat with Pastor Michael Mangus. We are talking with the Reverend Jim Webb, who hosts our Miracle of Prosperity program, which is on Sunday evenings at 6 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 o'clock Eastern, here on the New Thought Media Network. Now, Jim, you had on the program last Sunday, you had on an expert on Ho'oponopono.
Yes.
So talk to us about that technique to go ahead and to release the blocks to prosperity.
Absolutely. Ho'oponopono is a Hawaiian spiritual practice. Its purpose is to come into union with the divine. It uses a series of simple phrases and thoughts. And the intention of the series of simple phrases and thoughts is to move us more in union with the divine and move us into peace. The four thoughts are: I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, and thank you. Now, quite often, Ho'oponopono is directed to someone else with whom we have had an issue or a problem, but we can Ho'oponopono ourselves for prosperity. And I know that sounds a little obscene. Ho'oponopono yourself for prosperity. Go Ho'oponopono yourself.
Diego says that to me all the time.
Go Ho'oponopono yourself.
Go ahead, Jim.
But when we Ho'oponopono ourselves, what we are actually saying is, I am sorry that I find myself in this position that is not God's will for me. Please forgive me, meaning I am in a state of forgiveness with myself for believing myself undeserving, for believing myself guilty and sinful and therefore deserving of punishment, for withholding from myself and judging myself. I forgive myself for judging myself and withholding from myself and condemning myself and punishing myself. I love you. I love every part of me just as God loves every part of me. For there is no spot where God is not, as Cornerstone said. So God is within me and within every aspect of me. So there is no aspect of me that is unacceptable in God's eyes. And
Yes.
I love you. And I love you. Being in alignment, in flow with the infinite energy of love that can only create loving circumstances when we're in flow with it. So when we Ho'oponopono ourselves, we are placing ourselves in a heightened spiritual state of readiness for our good. For when we place ourselves in any heightened spiritual state, our good is a natural flow in every way. And that's something that's so important for us to remember. A Course in Miracles, lessons 101 through 103 says, God's will for me is perfect happiness.
Yes.
And when we place ourselves in that divine state of alignment, we are naturally in alignment with God's will. And when we agree with God's will, we allow God's will. Imagine this, we are gateways for God's will. You know that infinite substance that we always talk about? When we do some exercises where we we get into a divine and exalted state, and we hold and feel and experience that substance in our hands. And when you hold and experience that substance in your hands, and you allow it to concentrate, and you allow it to build, and you give yourself a tangible experience of it, and then you direct it to all of your energy centers, and you direct it to the places within you that may be resistant to your good, it heals, and it creates a channel of flow that then flows out into the world and finds its reflection, drawing you to its reflection and drawing its reflection to you. So opening to this divine flow and allowing substance to flow to you and through you without obstruction is what Ho'oponopono allows. It opens that channel. Does that make sense, Michael?
Absolutely. And the one thing I think that individuals need to recognize here is that as you do that, one of the biggest objections that I've heard to Ho'oponopono has been that people say, well, I shouldn't say I'm sorry. Well, let's consult the late Dr. Len Hugh, who was considered the world's expert in it. And he said, you need to do it anyhow.
Yes.
Because the whole idea, again, that it's bringing up again the feeling state of, again, that we really want to repent. We really want to turn around. We don't want that to affect our lives anymore.
Yes.
So I'm going to tell on myself here. So since attending your class, my bank accounts have been compromised. And for the past couple of weeks, we've been having a good time, myself and my banker. We've been having to kind of shore up the dike here. So I think what's going on is that because I've been in your class and because I've been focusing on abundance in my life, I think what's going on is kind of a chemicalization, that things are changing around, and rather than going ahead and saying, well, this prosperity stuff doesn't work. Again, I know that, I'm going to a deeper level of letting go of stuff. And so that's what's going on. So what is your feeling about that for me?
Yes. My feeling about that for you is this is divine chaos. And this is the disintegration that is an integral part of expansion and manifestation. The simplest way to look at it is when you make an omelet, there's a stage where the eggs are in the fridge, the cheese is in the fridge, the tomatoes, the onions, the peppers are in the fridge, and everything is beautiful because it looks so good in your fridge. But then you bring it out, you break the eggs, you chop the onions, you chop the peppers, and your counter is a mess, right? That's disintegration. Things are being taken apart in order to be put back together in a new and better way. Then you get the void, right? Where you've done the whipping, you're heating the omelet pan, and you're hungry and your stomach is growling because your Pavlovian response has already kicked in. You know you're going to get some good food, but it's not there yet. You're in anticipation. Part of you may worry and wonder, is it going to be all right? Is the pan hot enough? What happens if my smoke detector goes off and I have to attend to that and then my omelet burns? But then you put the omelet in, you take it out, you eat it, and you enjoy it. That's the manifestation. Well, every part of that process is holy. And disintegration is an important part of manifestation, because if you have to disintegrate in order to reorder, in order to bring things back together in a better way, in a bigger way, and in a way more aligned with the new vibration. So what we tend to do as humans is we tend to judge the disintegration without realizing that part of our process is as holy as a manifestation. And there are all different types of disintegration. Quite often, people have a little fender bender or something like that,
Yes.
or some sort of jolt to their energy, which is like shaking up a snow globe. Because what is happening is their energy is shifting and moving to a new level. And that jolt or that interruption is a way to just literally create a rapid shift in their vibration. Like that phrase, it's always darkest before the dawn.
Yes.
What often happens is that which says no is revealed to you so you can turn it into a yes. And that too is disintegration. And that is holy. Let us not judge it. Right. So what you are experiencing may be an aspect of disintegration. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I see, and again, I find myself not really being mad at anyone, including the person who's trying to hack in my account. It's just that I just go ahead and just do whatever I need to do, and then constantly work on me to let that, whatever is in me, to let that go. You said something a few weeks ago, which I've been thinking about, is that one of the things that you practice is saying, God, I let you into this, or God, I let you into this area. So talk to us about that and how we can use that in our lives.
Yes. Within us, there are often two parts, just like there are two parts of the iceberg, the part that is above the surface that we can see and the part below the surface that we can't. And just like the part of the iceberg below the surface that we couldn't see is what sank the Titanic, the part of our consciousness beneath the unconscious part of our consciousness is the part that sinks our prosperity. So what we do is we say, God, there may be, and obviously if it's showing up outside of me, it's a reflection of something inside of me. So God, there is something within me that is saying no. There is something within me that is saying I don't deserve this. There is something within me that's saying this is impossible, where you said all things are possible. So God, whatever it is within me that is saying no, I let you into this. Reveal it to me that I may turn it into a yes. Reveal it to me so that I may see the insanity of the no and see your will as yes.
Yes.
And that process, it's very similar energetically to taking substance, the divine substance of creation in its purest and most powerful form, and applying it to all of our energy centers so that our energy of thought, our energy of words, our energy of vision, our energy of picturing, our energy of intention can then take that substance, mold it, send it out, and let it draw its reflection back to us. It's really the same thing. God's grace, God's healing, God's light, God's power, God's glory, moving into those parts that are saying no, flooding them with love, flooding them with light, flooding them with grace, so that they can accept yes instead.
If you have the opportunity to be in Jim's next class, please do so. It's been transformational for me, and I know that we have a wonderful group of people, again, from mostly the East Coast, but again, from around the country that join in these classes, and absolutely wonderful. So if you go get Jim's book, which is called The Soul of Prosperity, which is available on Amazon, I'm plugging the book.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So go get the book, read it. But again, understand that what we're talking about here is not the prosperity gospel that you've been hearing on TV through the televangelists. What we're doing here is we're teaching, again, changing the landscape, changing the inside, so that what happens is that, again, that's reflected in the outside. Talk to us about tithing, and I'll tell a story before you do so. So in the past, I have given out of guilt.
Mm-hmm.
I've given my 10%. And then I wonder, well, why am I not prospering in my life like Catherine Ponder and other prosperity teachers say that you will? Well, what I learned was that when I tithed, that it's really important for me to, again, give in love and to ask Spirit, where should I give this? So what I'm doing now, and I think, again, this is bringing on some of the things that I'm going through, the chemicalization. So again, is when I am receiving money, is to go ahead and say, okay, Spirit, show me an amount that you want me to give and where to give it. So that, again, that's been, for me, when I give now, it's done completely in love. So what is your thinking about tithing, about what all the prosperity teachers have said, and what are some of the things that you talk to your students about in relationship to systematic giving?
Yes. The analogy that I like to use as it relates to tithing is when you're going to wash your car, you plug your hose, you hook up your hose to the spigot, you turn the spigot on, and it creates a flow. Well, tithing is a way to create an energetic flow, or to allow an energetic flow. Tithing acknowledges and gives thanks for that which you have. And as you know, that for which you are thankful is that you expand. So when you tithe, you are saying, I am thankful, I am abundant, I am in the flow. And the act of tithing is a sacrament. It is sacred, for it is taking energy, the energy of thanksgiving, the energy of your good, and sharing that. And when you share that, you create a void. Now, when you create that void with love, when you create that void with gratitude, when you create that void with thankfulness, when you create that void with the faith and the awareness of the infinite flow and the infinite abundance of infinite substance, you draw even more of that to you.
Right.
So you give some, you draw more, you give some, you draw more. And I don't even like to use the word give. I like to use the word share. Because give is indicative of it coming from a finite source. Right. Share is indicative of us turning on God's spigot and allowing the flow, and then directing the flow to where we are grateful for that for which we are grateful is that which we multiply. And so that's how I see tithing. And I love what you said, Pastor Michael, about giving from love, giving from abundance, giving from an awareness and in alignment with the infinite power, grace, and flow of God. For quite often I wonder if some of us have been manipulated into tithing out of guilt.
Yes. Well, a lot of people, if you grew up in the church like I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can tell you Malachi 3:10. Bring all the tithes so I can open you up a window of blessing. So, no, I think that verse, again, the whole idea of getting into the flow. And I think that's what happens again with circulation, again, with us, again, acknowledging again. And I share with folks, I was talking to someone at INTA, a prosperity teacher, and she said that what she does is this: for people who have never gave systematically, what she does is she starts them off at 1%.
Yes.
And then each week, then go ahead and add a percentage. But during that time, though, is to work on all the things that block our prosperity, including giving. So, and I offer that this evening to people who are watching. Do not let anyone hypnotize you into this 10%. If you are having a lot of fear about that amount, again, take it to a practitioner, take it to your minister. Go ahead and start out lower, and again, get into that feeling of gratitude when you do it. And you can do like I do and say, okay, this is what I have received. Again, 10% is, a certain amount. Spirit, what do you want me to give out of this?
Yes.
And it's usually above and beyond what that I'm doing. And again, Edwin Gaines, another prosperity teacher, that's what she does. She says, Spirit, what should I do? And again, that whole idea of giving in love, giving in gratitude, I think that's something that a lot of people miss. And another thing too, and I heard this, there's been a lot of discussion within the church since Creflo Dollar has come out and said, throw away everything that I've ever taught about tithing. Because he's reading the other scripture. No, it's not saying not to systematically give. That's a part of your prosperity program. And again, if you read any prosperity books, including Catherine Ponder, is that you will see that tithing is a portion of that. It is is one of the things that, again, that starts the flow. But the other portions that a lot of people really miss, especially in the Christian church, has been the whole idea of starting to change your beliefs about abundance, prosperity, and good in your life.
Yes.
Rather than, again, just going ahead and just saying, well, this stuff doesn't work. Well, again, if we're talking about principle, if you, like the principle of gravity, are you going to blame the principle of gravity if something doesn't, if something falls to the ground, are you going to blame it? No, it's just it's principle. So the whole idea of aligning with God thought about, which is that we are abundant because we are one with abundance.
Yes.
So the whole idea of us, again, allowing prosperity into our lives. And that's the big problem that I had a friend of mine, Reverend Chenoweth from Positive Christianity. He went ahead and he asked Catherine Ponder one time, he said, what is people's biggest problem in prosperity? And she did not say giving. She says the problem is that people have a really tough time in receiving. And that's because that we have been, again, hypnotized in this culture. Again, it's better to give than receive. But it's also good to receive. So when someone gives you something, again, and saying, oh, no, you shouldn't have done that, they probably should have done that a long time ago. Go ahead.
Amen. A Course in Miracles, lesson 108, giving and receiving are one. Everything is energy. And when you receive, you are saying, yes, thank you. When you give, you are saying, yes, thank you. And every time you say, yes, thank you, that for which you are thankful expands. Now, I went to the Wharton School, and we learned a fascinating principle that I thought had absolutely nothing to do with spirituality, but it actually has a lot to do with spirituality.
Yes.
Because God is everywhere. There's no spot where God is not. God is in money too, right? So there's this concept called the economic multiplier. And for those of you who have trouble believing on faith, believe these economic principles that have been proven over and over again. If you have $1 and you spend it, you inject that into the economy, the person who gets it is going to spend 90 cents of it. And they're going to inject that 90 cents into the economy. And the person who gets that 90 cents is going to spend 90 cents of it. And they're going to inject that into the economy. And on and on and on and on. So that dollar that you injected into the economy actually turned into $10. Because that's the economic multiplier effect. So what is that other than prosperity and your blessings increasing tenfold, right? And that's an economic principle that they teach at the Wharton School. So the point of this is, this actually has been empirically proven. Now, the other thing I want to say about what you said that was just so fascinating and so on point is we have to turn our thinking on our ear. It's not about our giving, it's about our thinking.
Yes.
Now, the essence of our old thought was, I am guilty. I am undeserving. I have been banished from the kingdom of heaven. God is angry with me. I have to make it up to God, and therefore I do not deserve my good until I atone for my sins, right? That's the whole paradigm of old thinking, right?
Yes.
So how in the world, when you're thinking about being guilty and undeserving, are you going to allow the prosperity that is waiting for you? You're not. So new thought turns that on its ear. Number one, God and I are not separate. I have never been banished from the kingdom, and I have never been the prodigal child who is undeserving and has to work my way back. Number two, God and I are one. The light of God that created me is the light of God within me. God guarded me. If you think about Rocco Errico and the ancient Aramaic, God did not spit me out because he was disgusted with me. I am an expansion and an expression of God's light, and all the qualities of God are the qualities that I have. And these qualities, the most important of which is love, as it is injected into the energy of the world, just like that economic multiplier, it multiplies itself tenfold.
Absolutely.
So as I am love, I create love. As I create love, I attract love. As I attract love, I create more love. And this love multiplier. And what is prosperity other than loving circumstances everywhere we look in every aspect of our lives?
Absolutely. We are almost out of time here. So tell us about your guests for this week's Miracle of Prosperity show. Really quick, 30 seconds.
Okay. I have wonderful guests. We're going to look at how past lives block your prosperity. So we've got a woman who does past life regression, who can tell us how past lives can influence our prosperity in this life. And we've got a woman who wrote a book about all her past lives and how she studied them to see how they were blocking her prosperity and what she did to open herself up.
So that is Reverend Jim Webb's show, which is here on the New Thought Media Network, The Miracle of Prosperity, every Sunday evening. That's at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. That's at 6 o'clock Mountain Time here on your New Thought Media Network. If you missed the program, again, we have everything archived on YouTube and also on Facebook. So please go watch the show. The reason being is because, again, that this is a vital message for this time. Again, that prosperity teaching has been taken and skewed in a manner that really has given prosperity teaching a bad name. But that's not what we are talking about. We are talking about the whole idea of you prospering. Yes, the church prospers when you prosper. I get that. But again, this is about you prospering. This is about you, again, aligning yourself with prosperity. Well, where's the music, Diego? You usually have the music on around now. He's going to have it on here in just a second. So again, thank you, Jim Webb. We'll see you Sunday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Mountain Time here on the New Thought Media Network. So we will see you. Thank you again, my friend. And what a blessing it's that you've been in my life. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. So it's time for us to go with the music being in the background. Just wanted to let you know that if you'd like to find out more about our wonderful network here, please go on our website. That's ntmedia.org. If you would like prayer is free here at New Thought Media Network. So go and send us an email to prayer@ntmedia.org. On behalf of myself and so my producer, the wonderful Diego Reyes, this is Pastor Michael Mangus, again, wishing you a wonderful week.
The views and opinions. Thanks for joining us this evening for Friday's Fireside Chat with Pastor Michael Mangus. Join us again next week at 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain for more spiritual conversations for today. For more information and replays of past shows, please visit the New Thought Radio and Media Network's Facebook page. Until next week, may God bless you richly and abundantly.